Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Nurse Ratchet Podcast. Yet again, my name is Georgia, and today we have...
Beck?
Rebecca! The one and only. You might be wondering who the fuck Rebecca is. Well, she is my very good friend from high school.
Yeah, that's
We've
me.
known each other 4 years upon years.
I know. I was trying to calculate that on the car ride here.
Were you? Yeah.
Yes.
You were like, let me tell our origin story.
We're in the same year.
Yeah, we're the same age.
Yeah, that's true.
So the story goes like this. I grew up in the country and so did Rebecca. The country specifically, Newmerka.
Merk.
The Merks. It's like half an hour north of Shep.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we just fucking, I don't know, clicked because we were the outcasts of society. For some fucking reason, Rebecca thought that I was the popular one.
She was the popular one.
I don't think so.
No, because you were nice, but you weren't mean.
Yeah, because I was the one being bullied as well by all those cunts. I just remember Hayley being such a cunt.
Which one's Hayley?
Jessica, whatever.
I don't know. I believe.
Jessica!
It's me.
Jessica! Anyway, they were all bad. They were all horrible.
Yeah.
And then we had that one guy die, our friend, Sam.
I can't remember.
Remember?
Is
He
that the
fell
one
off
with
the back of the motorbike? Do you remember?
No, but I remember the one that had the car accident and his head got decapitated.
There was a lot of kids that died in the country because
Yeah.
back in the day, that's what happened. I don't know if that still happens. There's a couple of recent accidents that have happened up that area. It's just like farm accidents, drowning in fucking dams, falling off motorbikes and car accidents because we've got nothing else to do except thrill seek because we're fucking
Thrill seeking.
unbelievably bored out there, you know?
That is true.
Anyway, yeah, we went to high school together. Then I moved to Shep to do high schooling because I thought I would do better. I didn't. Turns out I have a processing disorder called ADHD. On that note, I'm still in the process of diagnosis. The update is I have spoke to the psychologist. I've done a test. My sister has been my person who has also corroborated things and, you know, told her experience of me because we shared a room.
Yeah.
After she did it, she was like, you so have ADHD. She was like, I was like, yes to every test.
Yeah.
Question. And I've just been to the GP. I have to do a full blood test. I have to do a fasting glucose test, fasting lipid test. Oh my God. Urine drug screen, BP, height, weight, all of the shit. I don't know why.
I don't remember doing that.
No, I think it's just the program. But anyway, I'm halfway through. I've paid some money, so I don't want to waste that, I guess.
Yeah, no, go do it.
But the GP did say, she's like, even if you go to the psych, like you get to the psych appointment, you get the diagnosis, and you can come back here and I can manage your meds.
Yeah.
She said she has to get a special license to fucking...
Yeah, that's meant to be
crazy.
rolling in, though, I think, the GPs.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's always been the case, but I think they're rolling in the whole process into the GP.
That's right, yes. I read
fucking
that.
hope that happens.
Yeah.
You know, for all of the millennial girlies who just masked way too well. I want that for you. But anyways, so how are you and how do you feel about being on the pod?
I'm excited
Yes.
because I've been wanting to go on it for ages, and then I'm like, I'm so glad you asked me.
Yay! So the reason I asked Beck is because she's always been into true crime.
I love
You've
true crime.
always been a true crime girly,
Yep.
even before I was.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of your favourite...
I love Bailey Sarian. I watch
Okay.
her because she's murder mystery maker.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then I watch just anything true crime.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's
like
your
watching.
most latest watch?
Oh, I watched one last night where, this woman killed her son, put him in the trunk of her car, like shotgunned his face off.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? And then the cops pulled her over because she had shotgunned her car as well.
As in just shot up her own car?
She shot up her own car and she was driving on this, like, rim. There's like a whole wheel missing.
Jesus.
Yeah, and they pulled her over and she's like, no, I just got in a paintball fight, whatever. And then they let her go because it's like, oh, you can't drive home. They opened the trunk of her car and there's
Dead
her
kid.
6-year-old boy.
6.
And she was like, and the cops were even there. They're like, why is there blood on the back of your car? And he's like, oh, I got veal or venison. And it just spilt everywhere.
The lies.
I know.
The cover-ups. But surely, like, you would put two and two together and you would think the cops would. You know?
They were trying to, but you're not allowed to search someone's car without a warrant. or something.
Not even with blood on the outside?
I don't know.
I reckon that's reasonable cause.
Yeah, but that was in America, so I don't know the whole...
It's always in America. Yeah. Speaking of America, as we record this episode, the world's attention has been swept up by one of the most significant geographical crises of the decade. I mean, it is the most significant to the world, I suppose. Mm-hmm. The ongoing war involving Iran, the United States and Israel, massive coordinated airstrikes began at the end of February 2026 with US and Israeli forces hitting Iran, targets and strikes that reportedly killed Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and other senior officials, which sparked retaliation across the region. Obviously, you've all heard it. You're all doom scrolling. Iran's obviously responded with sustained missile and drone attacks to US bases. News outlets are giving daily briefings and fear-mongerings on the fuel situation and on the conflict's progression. The president, Donald J. Trump, has made public statements suggesting the war could be over very soon. Yet, both military and diplomatic sources are clear that the definitive end date remains uncertain and the situation is volatile. How are you feeling about it all, Rebecca?
Everyone just needs to love each other.
And calm the fuck
and
down.
Calm down.
I know it's scary, but it is mostly AI fear-mongering.
Yeah, actually, I saw some AI things.
Yeah, there's so many fake news of drones bombing shit and hitting shit. Like, it's actually crazy.
It is. And now our fuel is up high.
Yeah, the ripple effects are reaching us here, from fuel shortages to disruptions in food supply chains.
Yep.
It's a good reminder to stay aware and prepared. Check your emergency supplies, make sure you have enough fuel, and keep your pantry stocked with essentials. But
don't panic buy.
Please. This isn't a time to panic buy, and have a simple plan for disruptions. And just as important, take care of your mental health. Mm-hmm. Limit the news intake, breathe, focus on what you can control, you know? When people rush to fill up their tanks all at once, obviously it affects the supply chain. Harvesting and planting machinery need fuel. Trucks delivering food to supermarkets rely on fuel to keep moving also. If there's a shortage or delays, it can slow deliveries. Obviously, you know, it's a ripple effect. I mean, be calm, prepare, but don't panic. Here's something to think about. It's only the Strait of Hormuz that is affected, right? It's not legally blocked off, but people are just choosing not to use it. US is planning to ship to Australia. It's a long-haul route, shipping fuel all the way from the US to Australia by tanker ship, which is a much longer and slower journey than usual routes. So it's a delay. It's not a lack of supply. And obviously, due to the delay, there's a higher price, right? So all you really need to fucking do is count your coins and be smart about your travel until shit settles down. I don't think it's going to end in World War III. I'm fucking hoping not, but...
We're pretty safe here anyway in Australia.
We're safe here in terms of missile strikes and bombs. What's going to affect us is a shortage in supply.
What I think is we've got the land and the resources to be sustainable in Australia.
Yeah.
What I'm also upset about, I don't reckon we're low on water here.
I don't think so.
I don't reckon we're going into a drought, but everyone's like...
Oh, everyone's panicking.
Yeah.
And there's all of this
I think it's all AI.
Prepper shit as well.
I think it's all the AI systems they've built.
Yeah.
They're pulling water to cool all that system down and then blaming it on us for using too much.
So there is a big thing about AI and all of the fucking hard servers and shit creating more heat.
Yeah, so they need to pull water.
Yeah.
And then they're putting it back on the people. Like you're using too much.
Yeah.
That's just my take on that.
At the end of the day.
That's what makes me angry.
Yeah, it's all fucking bullshit. At the end of the day, we need to go back to fucking our roots and start growing our own fucking veggies and harvesting rainwater.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Buy a tank tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, regardless of all the shit that's going on, we're here to talk about a horrible human, as usual, for this podcast, and his name is Jeffrey Epstein. Mm-hmm. He's hovered over some of the most powerful institutions in the world: finance, politics, royalty, academia. This story shows how someone with enormous wealth and influence managed to operate in plain sight for decades, surrounded by billionaires, celebrities, and politicians, while allegations of abuse accumulated around him. And even now, after his death, thousands of pages of documents, what people have come to call the Epstein files, are still being unsealed. Mm-hmm. These files include sworn testimony, depositions, police interviews, emails, and flight records. They tell the story of how Epstein built his world, who moved through it, and how victims say they were pulled into it, or lured into it. But to understand the files, you have to start long before the investigations, before the headlines and before the arrests. We have to start in Brooklyn, which is where he was born. So I'm going to tell you his life story. But before I do that, what are your thoughts on Epstein? What do you know about him?
I toss up between if he committed suicide or didn't, but I don't think he did commit suicide, just the way he was strangled. Like the way the rope sat. If you were to like unalive yourself, the rope would be like really under your like jaw. And it's kind of around.
Yeah. So you've done a bit of research on Epstein, or not really, or what you've seen and heard?
I kind of just watch YouTube and Epstein Gold sometimes.
Like documentaries?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't done any research up until now about Jeffrey. I've just seen so much bullshit on the internet about it and people reading out the files and shit. And I'm like, what are these files? Like, I'm so confused. And how has it just been going on for so long? And how is Trump implicated? So I've done all the research and I'm going to lay it out for you plain as day today.
And I'm glad you did it, not me.
Yeah. Look, I briefly skimmed over things. I didn't go too far into it because I don't want to fucking stress myself out. But yeah, so this is going to be a long one. So buckle up, get comfy, get a drink. Oh, by the way, is your wine here? Wait, have I even ordered it?
I don't know.
I haven't. I got up to the date of birth. Oh, no. Oh, go me. All right, 1 second. Let me just order this. All right, so let's get into it. Jeffrey Epstein was born in 1953 in Brooklyn in New York City. His parents were working class. His father worked for the New York City Department of Parks and Rec, maintaining public parks. The family lived in a modest apartment complex in the borough. I don't know what that is. Anyway, there was nothing particularly remarkable about Epstein's childhood on paper. He was described as intelligent and good at maths. Teachers noticed he had a sharp mind and a quiet, somewhat reserved personality. After finishing high school, he attended Cooper Union, a prestigious engineering and science college in Manhattan. Later, he transferred to New York Uni for mathematics. But Epstein never graduated. Despite not having a degree, he managed to land a teaching job at the elite Dalton School, a private school on Manhattan's Upper East Side.
How do you do that?
That was exactly my question. I was like, the fuck? I mean, it was the 70s, like.
I suppose everyone lies on their resume.
You could do anything. In the early 1970s, Dalton was one of Manhattan's most prestigious private schools, known for educating the children of the wealthy and influential families. Normally, teaching positions there required strong academic credentials. But Epstein didn't have them. Despite that, he was hired by Dalton in 1974 to teach maths and physics. The reason this happened comes down largely to the headmaster at the time, Donald Barr. Barr had a reputation for hiring unconventional teachers. He sometimes recruited people who were intellectually strong but didn't necessarily have formal teaching qualifications. Epstein was reportedly seen as extremely good with numbers and science, which likely helped him secure the job. I think he's also good with people. That's my theory.
Manipulative.
Wins people over with his charisma.
As soon as I go into an interview, I've got the job.
Yeah, you just fucking ace it.
I'm like, done. It's just getting an interview.
Now I'm going to malfunction the entire time. And this job would quietly open the door to a completely different world. So while teaching at Dalton, Epstein came into contact with the father of one of his students, Alan Greenberg, the CEO of the investment bank Bear Stearns. Greenberg was impressed with Epstein and offered him a job. Again, won him over. It's not clear exactly why, but people who encountered Epstein in the 1970s often described him as very self-assured and persuasive, especially when speaking to wealthy people and powerful people. Epstein accepted, obviously, left teaching and moved into finance. So this is how he got into there. Within a few years, he had built a reputation for working with extremely wealthy clients. His role involved complex financial strategies and managing money for people with enormous fortunes. By the early 1980s, for reasons that are also unclear, he left Bear Stearns and started his own firm, J. Epstein & Co. I tried to figure out why he left, but I couldn't. So
maybe just
might have just been for his own, pursuits. Epstein claimed the company managed money only for billionaires. So it's like VIP financials.
It's like the Rolex.
What do you mean?
Like
Rolex?
he's a Rolex person.
He's a Rolex person. He certainly is. It's like he's had a plan from the beginning to scope out rich people and fucking make his way in that world, Anyway.
Keep going.
I am. But from the outside, very little about the business made sense. The firm had almost no employees. Clients were rarely identified publicly, and financial experts later said it was difficult to understand exactly how Epstein generated his wealth. which is crazy. Yet his lifestyle suggested vast resources. He owned multiple luxury homes around the world, including a sprawling Manhattan mansion, a private island in the Caribbean, and estates in New Mexico and Florida. Inside these homes, according to later testimony, a disturbing system was developing.
Do you reckon he was skimming off the top of his wealthy? They're so wealthy they probably wouldn't even notice.
Maybe. That's one theory for sure.
Although if he's working for billionaires, maybe they're just paying him really well.
Epstein reportedly told regulators that the funds he managed were essentially his own or belonged to a very small number of wealthy individuals, which he framed as private wealth management rather than a traditional investment advisory business, where the money likely came from. Investigations and reporting suggest secretive wealth transfers from wealthy associates, including people like Leslie Wexner. Epstein allegedly had business arrangements and offshore accounts that funneled money to him through shell companies. Some court filings implied he used these accounts to finance his lavish lifestyle and the activities that led to criminal charges later, rather than from legitimate client investments. No legitimate client base makes it hard to explain the size of his accounts. His lifestyle, private jets, properties worldwide, expensive staff was disproportionate to reported income. This secrecy fueled questions about money laundering, hidden wealth, and elite networks, which remain partially unresolved because some financial records are still sealed. Why? Anyway, we get to that. In the early 1990s, Epstein became closely associated with one Ghislaine Maxwell. Have you heard of her?
Yes.
Yeah. Maxwell was the daughter of British media tycoon Robert Maxwell.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Whose empire collapsed in a scandal after his mysterious death at sea in 1991. I had to know the details of the mysterious death, so here it is.
Yeah, I was like, what's
that about?
Yeah.
Robert Maxwell had deep connections with politicians, intelligence agencies, and international business figures. By the early 1990s, however, his financial empire was beginning to crumble under enormous hidden debt. On the 5th of November 1991, Maxwell was aboard his luxury yacht, the Lady Ghislaine, anchored near the Canary Islands off the coast of Spain. Must be nice.
I want to do that.
I know, same. That evening, he ate dinner with crew members, made several phone calls about business problems, and retired to his cabin. Sometime during the night, Maxwell disappeared from the yacht. When the crew realised he was missing, the next morning, a search began. His body was found floating in the Atlantic Ocean several hours later, about 24 k's from the yacht.
How did he die?
I don't know. Well, an autopsy suggested he had drowned after falling overboard, possibly after suffering a heart attack. There was no witnesses.
I reckon it was poisoned. Did Ghislaine, is her name Ghislaine?
Maybe.
Ghislaine? Did
You never know.
him, get the money?
She was a fucking shifty bitch.
Yeah.
Shortly after his death, investigators uncovered one of the largest financial scandals in British history. Maxwell had secretly stolen hundreds of millions of pounds from his employees' pension funds to keep his failing companies afloat. When he died, the fraud quickly unravelled. Because of his political connections and financial crisis, 3 theories emerged for his death. Accident, he fell overboard during a walk on the deck. Suicide, he knew the financial scandal was about to be exposed and just jumped. Murder, some speculated intelligence involvement because Maxwell had alleged links to Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency. Either way, dodgy things were happening, and no one really knows what's going on. There's a lot of theories and conspiracies and twisted tales just all throughout this story. So believe what you want, I guess, because there's no fucking answer. Soon after her father's death, Ghislaine Maxwell relocated to New York, where she met Epstein. She and Epstein became inseparable. The exact first meeting has never been publicly confirmed, but most accounts point to mutual connections in elite social and financial circles in New York. Ghislaine and Epstein began spending time together and soon became romantic partners. Investigators and journalists often note that the partnership was mutually beneficial. Epstein gained social legitimacy through Maxwell's elite connections, and Maxwell gained financial security and status after her father's empire collapsed. Together, they built this social network that later connected Epstein to politicians, royalty, academics, and billionaires. According to testimony in later court cases, Maxwell helped recruit young girls for Epstein, sometimes approaching them in public places or through social connections. She denied these allegations for years, but the accusations would eventually lead to her criminal trial. But that's jumping ahead. Did you know that Ghislaine and Epstein were a thing together?
Yeah.
That they were actually romantically involved?
Yeah.
I didn't. I just knew that she was somehow associated with the whole thing.
Nah,
I was like, ooh.
They're both sickos.
It's funny how sickos find each other.
Yeah.
The first major criminal investigation into Epstein began in 2005, which is disgusting because he was around since the 1970s. In March 2005, a 14-year-old girl told her parents that she had been paid $200 to give Epstein a massage at his mansion in Palm Beach. Her parents went to the Palm Beach Police Department, which opened a formal investigation. Detective Joseph Ricari led the case. What he uncovered was far larger than a single complaint. When police interviewed the girl, she described being recruited by another teenager, being told Epstein liked massages, and being paid cash afterwards. It's like a fucking pyramid scheme. This triggered a wider investigation. During the investigation, Palm Beach police identified dozens of potential victims, reporting a similar pattern of events. Eventually, investigators believed many more girls had been involved. They said that they were recruited by other teenagers who had already been paid by Epstein. The girls were told they could earn money by giving massages at this house, as well as recruiting other girls and receive a finder's fee for finding girls.
It is a pyramid scheme.
It is. Totally is. Detectives documented that some girls were as young as 14. Many came from financially struggling backgrounds. They were often recruited at schools, malls, or through social networks. Isn't that fucked?
That's gross.
And, you know, the theories are that Ghislaine starts the pyramid. She's at the top and Jeffrey just hangs out in his mansion and receives massages.
It's like, is it massages or like massages?
Yes. Luring the men under the guise of massage and then, abuse. Many said the encounters escalated into sexual assault.
Okay.
Investigators identified more than 30 potential victims. Police prepared a case they believed supported serious felony charges, like trafficking, but the outcome would shock many of the investigators involved. By 2006, Palm Beach police had assembled a large investigative file, recommended multiple felony charges against Epstein. However, the case later became controversial because of a 2008 plea deal negotiated by Epstein's lawyers with federal prosecutors. The deal was negotiated by Alexander Acosta, who was then serving as a US attorney. Under the deal, Epstein would plead guilty to soliciting prostitution from a minor under state charges. By doing this, he avoided federal sex trafficking charges, and his co-conspirators, including Ghislaine Maxwell, were granted immunity. He was sentenced to 18 months in a county jail where he served only 13 months, mostly in a private wing of the Palm Beach County Jail. During his time there, he was allowed work release for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, which let him leave the jail to go to his office.
It's not even...
It's not even jail, bitch.
That's just like going home after... Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? He reportedly had unusually luxurious conditions, including a private bathroom and limited monitoring. The fuck?
Yeah.
What even is
his
that?
Pocket? That's not even...
Like, what even is that? It's not even legal, surely.
That's not even a punishment.
No, it sounds like he had some people on his side.
Yeah, I reckon.
For many victims and investigators, the plea deal felt like a collapse of justice, obviously. Years later, critics would describe it as one of the most controversial prosecutorial decisions in modern American legal history.
Who was the judge? Does the judge determine where you go?
Yeah.
And what? So who was the judge?
And location, yeah. Judge Leonard Hanser of the Palm Beach County Court signed off on the agreement, which made it legally binding.
Seems real dodgy. How many girls were there? How many did you say? Like 30?
30
girls, and he got 18 months. Where he got, what kind of suite was it at the jail?
He had a private suite with a private bathroom.
Yeah, nah.
His involvement was formal and procedural. The controversy around the plea deal was directed at the prosecutors who negotiated it.
Doesn't it usually...
There's probably some sort of fucking agreement paying off and
I'm
things
just like,
in the
because it's from the
background.
other side. So it would be like they didn't bring the plea deal, the other person brought the plea deal.
Epstein's representation, you mean?
No, the opposite. Whoever represented the state is usually who offers the plea deal.
State Attorney Barry Krishna was the selected state attorney for Palm Beach County at the time.
So,
A team of assistant state attorneys handled the case locally, but most attention is on the federal side because the US Attorney's Office orchestrated the controversial non-prosecution agreement. The state attorney's office filed the state charges and presented them in court, and Judge Hanser then approved the plea agreement submitted by the state prosecutors. So who is dodgy in this?
It would be whoever offered that plea deal. Because he would have gone to jail, I reckon, for a while.
Alexander Acosta.
Yeah.
The deal was extremely lenient, secretive, and failing to notify victims properly. We get into that later. Acosta later resigned as US Secretary of Labour in 2019 because of the public backlash.
Yeah, good. I wonder if he's in the files. I reckon if he's mentioned a few times, he's probably in on it.
Yes.
There you go.
He is. So he's just mentioned as part of this situation.
Or it was paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was rich as fuck, Epstein.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was paid off. Like, something dodgy's going on, and I don't like it. Anyway, some of the most important documents, now known as the Epstein files, emerged through civil lawsuits filed by Epstein's accusers. One of the most prominent plaintiffs was Virginia Giuffre. Giuffre has said that seeing Epstein avoid serious punishment made her feel that the truth about what happened needed to be exposed. Around the early 2010s, reporters and lawyers began contacting alleged victims again as they investigated Epstein's earlier case. Giuffre eventually decided to speak publicly to journalists and lawyers, including people connected to the Miami Herald investigation that later helped revive scrutiny of the case. Speaking out also connected her with other women who said they had similar experiences, which reportedly made her feel less alone. And this is how the Me Too movement started, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's this specifically, but this is similar to how it happened. Like, one woman speaks out and the other ones feel safe to do so as well. But people just think, or criticisms of the Me Too movement think that it's just a bandwagon sort of thing.
I think it's a safety in numbers. It's
exactly.
Human thing.
It is.
Yeah.
Giuffre, born Virginia Roberts, grew up in the United States and has said that her childhood was unstable, with periods of family conflict and running away from home. As a teenager, she ended up living in Palm Beach, where she was working various low-paid jobs to support herself. At 17 years old, she got a job at the Mar-a-Lago Resort, which was owned by Donald Trump at the time. Giuffre had said that in 2000, while working at Mar-a-Lago, she was approached by none other than Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell told her she could train as a massage therapist for a wealthy client. That client was Jeffrey Epstein.
How old was she?
17.
Okay.
Giuffre later said she believed it was a legitimate job opportunity and agreed, as any 17-year-old would, looking for work. She also said that Maxwell took her to Epstein's mansion in Palm Beach. Giuffre had alleged that what began as a massage quickly became sexual and that she was then drawn into Epstein's network. She has stated that Maxwell played a key role in recruiting and grooming her. Giuffre later alleged that Epstein and Maxwell transported her to different locations, directed her to have sexual encounters with powerful men, and kept her financially dependent on them. She said she was taken to properties including Epstein's mansion in New York City, his ranch in New Mexico, and his private island in the US Virgin Islands, and residence in London as well. Among the people she publicly accused was Prince Andrew, Duke of York, alleging she was forced to have sex with him when she was 17. Prince Andrew has reportedly denied the allegations, because of course. Giuffre eventually met an Australian martial arts instructor named Robert Giuffre while travelling overseas. She later married him and moved to Australia. Happy to have you, girlie. For years, she lived quietly before eventually coming forward publicly. Giuffre became one of the first Epstein accusers to speak extensively to the media and in court findings. Her testimony helped bring renewed attention to the Epstein case in 2010. In 2009, though, Giuffre filed a civil lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell in the United States, alleging Maxwell had recruited and abused her as a minor within Epstein's network. The case was filed in Florida. However, the lawsuit was later withdrawn in 2011, reportedly after confidential settlement with Epstein.
Yes.
So, consistent patterns there where he, gets accused and gets off.
She might have got some money out of it, though.
I'm sure
Which
she
is
did.
good. Like, that's
it's
good
a
for her
settlement.
life. Yeah.
She did.
That's good.
Yeah.
Not good.
They may have threatened her life as well,
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll pay you this money to shut up, and if you don't shut up, guess what happens?
Yep.
Because the settlement agreement was sealed, the exact terms have never been publicly disclosed. And this happens so much that I'm so sick of hearing about it. It's like, just release everything, please, so that we can stop speculating. The reason Epstein's 2008 plea deal with federal prosecutors in Florida was so controversial was because that agreement granted immunity to Epstein and several potential co-conspirators for further charges, which made it much harder to victims to bring other legal claims against him. Isn't that fucked?
That is.
That's so fucked.
Yeah.
It's like you can be convicted of a crime later because you can do more crimes.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that earlier,
Yeah.
though. Like, when you get convicted, I think over there, you can only get convicted once.
Yeah, and I think I'd say this later, but the 30 girls weren't informed of the decision of the deal or anything. So they never had a chance to testify against him or anything like that. Like, they were basically shafted. And I think that's the case here as well. Like, once it's tried, it's tried.
Yeah.
Unless you appeal.
Unless you have, like, a mistrial, like someone dodgy's on the jury, you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking love law.
I know. Anyway, regardless, she continued to file a civil lawsuit against Prince Andrew. in 2021. She's like, who else can I fucking sue? And fair enough. So that was in the New York federal court. In 2022, the case was settled out of court. For fuck's sake.
I heard about that.
With Prince Andrew agreeing to a financial settlement but not admitting any wrongdoing. I think if you agree to a financial settlement, like everyone knows that you've done it, like come on. Otherwise, if you were innocent, you would take that shit to court with all his money.
Yeah.
He's got all this money, all this power. Why the fuck wouldn't you take it to court?
Was his mum still alive then?
Because shit would get out. Yeah,
Was the Queen
I think
still
so.
alive? Yeah, the Queen would have said, shut your mouth.
Is Prince Andrew the King's brother?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm not very involved with the monarchy.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I was
That
the
thing.
Queen, I'd be like, shut your mouth. You're
Imagine
ruining.
if you were the king right now. He's just been rearrested as well.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yep.
I think they'll let him go, though.
I don't know.
If history has anything
No,
to do with
because
it.
his grandma, his
She's
mum's
dead.
not there to protect
I wonder how
him.
his brother feels.
He's probably like, you're ruining everything for us.
Yeah, true.
But I'm pretty sure he's like the first like royal member to like actually get convicted
Scandalised. Is he convicted, though?
or arrested.
Yeah,
And, like,
he's been arrested.
Yeah.
As part of these proceedings, thousands of pages of evidence were collected. These documents included sworn depositions, emails, witness statements, and flight records for Epstein's private jet. This evidence makes up a main chunk of the Epstein files. These files contain references to numerous prominent individuals. Some appeared because they had social contact with Epstein. Others were mentioned in testimony by accusers. But being named in the document does not necessarily mean someone committed a crime. But the sheer number of powerful figures connected to Epstein raised troubling questions. The names that appeared in various records alongside Prince Andrew were Donald Trump, Bill Gates, and Bill Clinton. By the time she began speaking publicly, Giuffre was living in Australia with her husband and children. She has said that being physically far from Epstein's social circle makes it easier to feel safe enough to talk about what happened, except, they can have connections in Australia as well. Maybe she's out in the sticks.
Yeah, I'm like, find me.
Yeah. In 2015, after Giuffre made her allegations public, Ghislaine Maxwell called her claims lies. Lies, the lot of it. That led Giuffre to file a defamation lawsuit. This bitch is a bad bitch.
She's like, come for
I'm
me.
about it.
Yeah.
She's like, let me just
I want that focus.
get all the money. During that legal battle, a large number of previously sealed documents about Epstein's network became public, bringing more attention to the case and adding more evidence to the files. So this is where the files come from, all the evidence from cases,
Yeah.
So more people come out of the woodwork. After Virginia Giuffre began publicly speaking out about Jeffrey Epstein's network in the early 2010s, several other women gradually came forward with their own accounts. Many had actually spoken to police years earlier, but only publicly attached their names later, especially as their case gained attention. One of those women is Maria Farmer. She was actually the first to ever... She was like, her timeline occurred way before Virginia Giuffre. Anyway, I'll tell the story. In 2018, as part of the investigative reporting led by the Miami Herald and journalist Julie K. Brown, Maria Farmer gave interviews describing her alleged experiences in the 1990s. As I said, he's been fucking around for decades. Maria Farmer is considered one of the earliest accusers, though her story gained media attention only at this time.
Well, can I just ask a question?
Yes.
When did Ghislaine come into it? What year?
He meets Ghislaine in 1990, and this occurs in 1996. Her account was significant because it suggested the network may have been operating much earlier than many people realised. Farmer said she met Epstein and Maxwell in the mid-1990s through art world connections. At the time, she was working as an artist, and Epstein and Maxwell reportedly showed interest in supporting artists and buying artwork. She was invited to properties in New York and New Mexico. She later said the relationship quickly became coercive and frightening. She claims Epstein exposed himself to her. He attempted to force physical contact, and that she felt trapped and threatened in environments where he held the power, and she reported he controlled access to her work and opportunities and property access.
So he full took over her life.
Yeah, that's what it did with them all. She also said that he coerced her to bring her teenage sister, Annie Farmer, who also later reported being approached and assaulted by Epstein. Farmer has stated that she and her mother reported Epstein and Maxwell to the Federal Bureau of Investigation in 1996. So authorities had early warning signs, but clearly no meaningful action was followed. Her allegations resurfaced publicly during renewed media investigations in the late 2010s. Fucking years later. Annie Farmer's testimony, the sister, would eventually become public during the 2021 trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, where she described her experience to a jury. She was one of the key prosecution witnesses in that trial. Another woman is Courtney Wild. After Epstein's original 2008 plea sparked widespread public outrage, Courtney Wild became one of the most prominent voices challenging the deal. Her allegations were part of the original Palm Beach police investigation. Later, she fought a long legal battle arguing that victims were illegally kept in the dark about Epstein's plea agreement. In the suit, she claimed that victims like her were not notified about Epstein's 2008 plea deal in Florida, and this denied them the right to be informed, participate, and object to the deal. Anyway, this would drag out for many fucking years because obviously they don't want to fucking be held accountable.
No.
In 2011 and 2014, a federal judge, Reggie Walton, ruled that the government had in fact violated victims' rights. However, that ruling did not overturn the plea deal, nor did it give Wild the chance to pursue federal charges against Epstein at that time. So what the fuck is the point?
I don't know.
So the government was held accountable, quote unquote, in that they had to acknowledge procedural failings, but the plea deal itself remained in place. There was no dramatic public overhauls tied directly to her case alone, nor compensation or payout of any kind. So they didn't change any policy.
No.
They didn't give her any compensation. They just said, yeah, it was probably not ideal.
Okay, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
That was the two girls, the sisters.
No.
They're the ones.
No. So
go back.
It is Courtney Wild. She's a new girl,
Okay.
and she was part of the 30 in that plea deal, right?
Yeah.
So she went to the judge and she filed a lawsuit about how it was illegal to keep them in the dark about Epstein's plea agreement.
Okay.
So they didn't get fucking informed,
Yeah.
right? And it denied them the right to be informed, participate, and object to the deal.
Okay.
Right? So they would have
Were
had
they
a right
still
to
minors
object.
at the time?
Yes, but their parents would have been able
Yeah,
to
no, that's what I'm
intervene.
like. So even if they like played that card, it would still.
Yeah. So the government was quote unquote held accountable, but didn't have to do anything. And the plea deal stayed in place, so they still couldn't reopen the case or whatever.
What?
Dumb.
That's shit. Yeah.
Anyway, her challenge helped keep the issue alive long before Epstein was arrested in 2019. So it contributed.
So it still kept it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that.
These women kept coming
Kept him in the
out of the
headline.
wood. They just kept holding him accountable, whether it came to anything or not. And it eventually did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was eventually arrested. So, caught up?
Yep.
Happy?
Thank you. Yep.
After Jeffrey Epstein was released from jail in 2009 after his plea deal, he was technically a convicted sex offender. But he quickly returned to a life of wealth, travel and elite connections for
Would
years.
he be on the list of sexual offenders, sexual predators?
Yeah, he would have been.
So you could like look him up and you would be
Probably. He continued managing assets through offshore structures and trusts. He retained control over properties, all of the properties, many businesses and political connections remained intact. No consequences in his real life whatsoever.
So just that little sticker that's pumped on his file.
Sex offender.
Yeah, that's it.
Epstein travelled frequently between the US and international destinations, maintained a private jet, later coined the Lolita Express, due to allegations he used it to traffic victims. He hosted guests at properties, including his private island. He referred to it as Little St. James. His ability to travel despite being a registered sex offender later became controversial because monitoring appeared limited. Like, you're supposed to
you have to
have your whereabouts documented, I think.
even when you go overseas, or like don't they deny you if you go overseas? Like,
Surely. All of it is dodge.
When we went to America, we had to like say if we were like a convicted felon and stuff.
Yeah.
To get in
Yeah.
and give our thumbprints.
Yes. It was very intimidating.
I felt very violated.
Oh my God.
Like,
it was very scary going through American customs.
yeah.
I was like, this is very serious.
And then we just walked back into Australia.
I know.
Just nothing.
You do the bag check, but that's about it. The occasional beep, 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 beep,
Yeah.
with the metal detector, but that's about it.
I was so happy.
I was worried I was going to get a cavity search. Like, it was that strict.
Yeah, in America.
Yes.
Yeah, that was scary.
I know. I was like, I want to go home.
I want to go home now. There was a lot of homeless people.
Oh, so
there.
many
That was
homeless. It was so sad.
Yeah, it was.
It was really like a filthy kind of city on the outskirts. The
Nah,
centre.
It
No?
kind of smelled like wee.
Everything smelled like piss and weed.
It did, and poo.
Yes.
And sorry, America.
Sorry, not sorry. You guys
No,
are
we
fucked.
love you.
We resent you right now.
Yeah, we just want you to be better and have
And
free
mainly your
healthcare.
government, not the people.
Yeah, not the people.
Yeah.
I just
You
think
guys are just subjected to all of your
Yeah.
dictators' fucking decisions.
I
anyway.
don't think I could live in America.
No.
Just based on like the healthcare, there's no like
God, no.
resources to get help.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I got sick and it cost me most of my fucking holiday money to get
You
well.
were really sick.
I
That
was so
you had
tonsillitis
tonsillitis
so bad.
because you were stressing, girl.
Maybe it was a stress thing.
I notice when you get really stressed, you get tonsillitis.
I always fall in a heap.
Yep.
Yeah, my immune system packs it in.
Yep.
Anyway, we've diverted.
Yeah, sorry.
So back to the program. For years, the case stayed relatively quiet until reporter Julie K. Brown published a major investigative series for the Miami Herald titled Perversion of Justice. In 2018, that reignited widespread public scrutiny. The reporting showed that prosecutors had evidence suggesting there was dozens of underage victims and that federal authorities had built stronger potential charges than what were ultimately pursued. It included internal documents showing concern that the plea deal was unusually protective of Epstein. No shit. Brown tracked down survivors, including women like Courtney Wild and others, and documented how recruitment allegedly worked, how authorities handled complaints, how victims felt ignored by the justice system. Her reporting gave victims a public platform that had not existed before, and that's why investigative journalists are essential.
Mm-hmm. Get to the nitty-gritty.
Yep. Currently, Candace Owens has gone full-blown investigative journalist on Charlie Kirk's murder.
Yeah.
And Erica Kirk being...
Yeah, although I get her point.
Yes. Erica Kirk is fucking strange.
Yeah.
She's cuckoo bananas.
Yeah. I agree.
The devil eyes.
She's a bit crazy.
Oh my gosh, what is going on?
Well, looking on from what I've
seen. The sparkle pantsuit and the fucking fireworks. What is that?
Yeah, you don't do that. And then she was selling merch.
Of her eyes.
Kirk
the Charlie merch. They had the tent at one of their fucking events that he got murdered under to take selfies.
Yeah, maybe she'd just give me the money.
Yes, she is give me the money.
Yeah.
But what Candace is doing right now is diving into her history and contradicting all her statements about not having any love before Charlie. She had multiple boyfriends.
Yeah, she was a model and
she was a model.
Yeah.
She was a pageant queen.
What I couldn't see her as being a home wife.
No.
I can't see her as being like a trad wife,
Well,
which is what Charlie...
Yeah, she's the CEO of TP
yeah,
USA.
so Charlie Kirk wouldn't have stood for that.
No.
Because he was very, get in the kitchen.
Exactly.
Make me a sandwich.
Absolutely.
Crazy kids. With bare feet.
Exactly right. So, yeah, it's very entertaining. Go Candace for this particular thing.
So I don't agree with a lot of Candace's stuff,
that's why
but I do agree
caveat.
with some of it. Like you have to take her with a grain of salt.
You have to take everyone with a pinch of salt and their opinions.
Yeah,
that's
you make your own assessment. Yeah.
I think she's right on this though.
But I agree with it. I agree with her on this one.
Oh, absolutely. And do you know what I like? She's actually despite her controversial views, she stands against the genocide of Gaza.
Yeah.
And that's why she got fired from the Daily Wire, which is a very right-wing podcast with Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
Ben Shapiro is publicly attacking her now for all different kinds of things because he's like, she's lying.
Nah, she's a strong woman though.
She is.
I feel like you attack her and she gets stronger.
Oh, God, she's so
That's
funny.
how I feel. That's how she soaks it in.
Yes. And so she's sort of seeing the other side. She's now anti-Trump and everything that he's doing.
Yeah.
She's not a lefty by any stretch of the imagination. She's in the middle and she has her own opinions. And I respect
which is what I like about her
like
actually.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, don't support her on the Black Lives Matter thing.
No,
I think she's very wrong about that.
Yeah.
And all of the trad stuff. Like, she's against sex workers. She's against women who work. She's against feminism in general.
Yeah.
So all of that, disagree. Not saying she's right on everything, just this one particular thing.
I think that's you're raised. Yeah, you're raised with your beliefs. And
that's what I'm trying to sort of bring back is the nuance of people and how everything is not black and white.
Yeah.
Everyone's a shade of grey. You know, they can change their opinions. They can be right on some things and they can be wrong on others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm very, steadfast in my opinions. But if you give me a good, solid, something that'll change my mind, I'm happy to change my mind.
Yeah.
That's how I work. Yeah.
And how do you come to these decisions about things? You listen to facts from both sides.
Yeah. You don't, you don't do that. What's confirmation bias?
Confirmation bias.
So if you believe in one thing, you're going to research that one thing.
Yes.
You know?
And algorithms definitely cater to that as well. Yeah. So I feel like people are getting more and more radicalized.
I actually feel TikTok
is bad for that.
Big part of that because it'll just confirm everything all the time.
It does.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And so does ChatGPT.
Yeah. I love ChatGPT.
So do I.
It makes me feel so good about myself.
It will definitely gas you up if you get
it does. It's like, I feel like this, and it's like, you're doing a wonderful job.
I asked
thank
for its
you.
advice on some parenting shit the other day, and it was like, "Oh, Georgia, we know you're doing a wonderful job, la la la, but here's some tips." Like, it really like gently therapizes you.
It does. It's kind of like a therapist.
It's not therapy. Caveat:
It's
we don't
not-
think it's a
it's
therapist.
not.
Get actual therapy.
But you know what it is? It's kind of like that confirmation because
Yes.
you want to do something and you want to do it well, and then it kind of gives you that
Pushes you to
pep
do
talk.
it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I wanted to quit my job.
yeah.
Like I hated it.
And what did it say? Do it.
It said, it's up to you, you know, like I can see you've been struggling.
I've been watching you from the phone.
Yeah.
I'm collecting all of your data.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, pretty much.
It is funny because it will like I'll use it to research and then fact check.
Yeah.
And it will remember things that I've researched.
I know. Yeah, mine does that. And it's
from
kind of
months
scary.
ago.
It's like, we
and
know
it'll
you're...
be like, this combined with your research on this could help with this or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, so her reporting gave others a public platform. This challenged the narrative that the case was small or isolated, leading to public backlash, which forced authorities to reopen the case. Dun, dun, dun. Public backlash is effective, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Eventually. The Department of Justice began reviewing how the plea agreement was handled. Within a year, Epstein was arrested again, this time on federal sex trafficking charges. Thank you very much. It's about time. So, he was arrested in 2019 at the Teterboro Airport in New Jersey. He had landed on a private jet from Paris, and federal agents were waiting for him upon arrival. He was charged with sex trafficking of minors and conspiracy to commit sex trafficking. These charges were far more serious than the 2008 plea deal case. Following his arrest, federal agents searched his property in New York City. They reportedly seized hard drives, photographs of young women, large amounts of cash, personal documents and records. The search reinforced prosecutors' argument that the trafficking allegations were ongoing and systemic. Epstein was detained at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City to await trial. Epstein was held in the MCC Special Housing Unit, the SHU, which is solitary confinement.
Oh, is that for
So
protection?
much less glamorous than before.
But it's still a protective thing.
It
because,
is,
like,
yeah.
you know how you go to prison and
Yes.
if you've, you know, hurt young girls, you
Yes.
get shanked.
Correct. I reckon that's why they did that. According to the reports, he attempted suicide once around July 23, 2019, 2 weeks into his confinement. Jail staff found him injured in his cell. He had marks on his neck consisted with an attempt at hanging or strangulation.
Pause there.
Yes.
Was there any more?
Because I was about to pause too. Go.
Is there any more?
So this is the first attempt.
So the first attempt said he
survived
was
that.
trying to commit suicide.
Yep.
And then they put like someone in there with him to watch him.
Yes.
Was there any cameras then?
No.
No.
There was cameras in the hallway.
Oh, and even if he would have spoken out and said, hey, someone tried to kill me, it would have been like squashed.
Yes.
Because there was no cameras.
Yeah.
And the guards can say whatever.
Can I go through what I've got
Yes,
and then
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
discuss
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. He attempted suicide. The jail staff found him injured. He had marks on his neck. Another inmate reportedly alerted guards by shouting that Epstein appeared unconscious. After that, he was placed on suicide watch, which meant constant monitoring, removal of items that could be used for self-harm, and placement in a safer cell under increased observation in a cell by himself. He remained there under heightened observation for several days to roughly a week. By August, he was reportedly taken off suicide watch. He returned to the special housing unit. Authorities suggested that he had improved after the initial incident. He was moved from the more restrictive suicide watch setting back to a regular detention conditions with a cellmate. Standard policy generally requires checks roughly every 30 minutes for high-risk detainees. Officers are supposed to physically observe and document each check. Documentation of those checks later appeared incomplete or falsified. There was also surveillance cameras that monitored hallways and common areas, though not necessarily the inside of the cell directly. So on the morning of August 10, 2019, correctional officers reportedly discovered Epstein unresponsive in his cell. He was found hanging from bedding material tied to a fixture. Guards and medical staff immediately attempted resus. CPR was performed, emergency services were called, and he was transported to a hospital, pronounced dead shortly after arrival. So the New York City medical examiner ruled the case of death as suicide by strangling. So, yeah. I don't know where the fuck his cellmate was at that time.
Yeah,
or
I
the
actually
guards.
researched that. So
Yeah.
the roommate got moved out.
Okay, so...
which is against protocol as well.
Obviously, yeah. There's no mention of it. They were like, there's no evidence that there was any foul play. It's like, where was the monitoring?
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to fucking... And there's no mention of time frame when they left, when they came back. That, as they said, the documents were falsified.
Yeah.
So the guards were prosecuted for negligence.
Yeah, they would have been.
Yes. So dodgy. Everything's dodgy.
And the cameras weren't working at that time frame. Like, everything was dodge.
Yes. The ruling did not close public debate because of major surrounding irregularities.
Yeah.
Investigators revealed the required 30-minute checks were not consistently performed. Some log checks appeared to have been filled in retroactively, and guards reportedly fell asleep or were distracted during shifts. Okay.
It's like, what do you got to do in a jail?
Get a coffee. That's about it.
Yeah. It's like you just...
And then you should get your shift covered or your watch or whatever. 2 correctional officers later faced criminal charges for allegedly falsifying records. But didn't they look more into that? Like...
Yeah, but maybe they'll pay it off.
Maybe they didn't give a fuck. Yes. Even more interestingly was the key surveillance footage from parts of the facility was also missing.
Only that day, though.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a bit fishy.
Come on.
If it was like,
Connect the fucking dots.
it had been 2 weeks of the camera not working, but like just that one day.
It does say some cameras were not functioning properly and video of the actual cell interior was not available. This fueled widespread speculation because it meant investigators could not fully reconstruct every moment, which should lead to a murder investigation.
Yeah.
The US Department of Justice Inspector General conducted a review and concluded staffing shortages were severe, policy violations did occur, supervisory breakdowns contributed to unsafe conditions. However, no official finding concluded evidence of murder. Questionable. Authorities maintained the classification as suicide. Naturally, circumstances surrounding the death fueled global speculation and conspiracy theories. Because if you don't thoroughly check out shit, what do you expect?
And like, okay, so he used his sheets to strangle himself.
Why would they put sheets in there after a suicide attempt?
I don't know.
Dumb.
Well, you would have to have sheets to sleep on.
No.
Although he's like in jail, so...
Like, give him a fucking straitjacket. I don't know.
Because I looked at the autopsy like photos and stuff. There would be bruising around the ligament. Yeah.
Oh.
There's real, like, you can look it up now. It's really, it's one straight line pretty much around his throat here.
I need to do this.
How do you, like...
Does it look like hands?
No, it looked like something.
Yeah,
right.
rope.
But if you were to, like, hang yourself, that's what I was saying earlier.
With a big, thick sheet.
You'd jump off the wall, I don't know. You're going to have it around here. You're not going to have it, like, down here.
So it was lower on the neck.
Yeah, it's lower on the neck, than it should be.
Okay. I need to look these up. Yeah, it's very dodgy. I think he was killed, to be honest. I think he was fucking killed.
And I think you would have, like, purpling around the mouth because you would, like...
Yeah.
Like, the
what
blood
did the
pressure
report say about his eyes?
Nothing. It's just...
'Cause you have this thing where the blood vessels in your eyes...
Yeah, it all burst and stuff.
They burst, but that's with strangulation. I don't know about hanging.
It would be the same thing.
I just want to know the time frame of when he was last monitored to when they returned and discovered him. But
was he in rigor mortis at the time?
None of that.
Like, I want to know all that.
I don't know. There's no information. I tried so hard. It's a cover-up, guys. Like, it's obvious just from the lack of info.
Yeah, obviously there's he was rolling with the high millionaires, billionaires.
Yeah. And once their names get implicated.
Yeah, and it's a federal one. So it's a federal court case, which means it's governmental,
Yeah. Anyway, these conspiracy theories include he had information implicating wealthy or political figures.
Which he did.
Yes, absolutely. His death prevented testimony and that someone inside or outside the jail orchestrated it. Epstein's death created distrust because he had access to elite networks. His trial would have required evidence disclosure. His testimony would have implicated powerful figures. The legal action shifted to claims against the estate, because Epstein never made his trial. Financial settlements and civil depositions. The estate became the legal target instead of the individual. His estate reportedly paid out substantial settlements, but often confidential ones. After Epstein's death and criminal prosecution ceased, the evidence collected was no longer being prepared for trial against him personally. The evidence remained in government custody, often tied to investigations into associates like Ghislaine Maxwell. Civil lawsuits by victims began to rely on this evidence to pursue financial settlements. After Epstein died, investigators shifted focus with attentions turning to possible co-conspirators like Ghislaine Maxwell. She became a major focus because victims repeatedly named her in testimony, and the abundance of evidence suggested she actually helped recruit and groom minors. She appeared frequently in documents, photos, and flight logs tied to Epstein. For much of late 2019 and early 2020, Maxwell stayed relatively hidden. reports surfaced that she was living under an alias. She reportedly moved between properties in the US. On July 2nd, 2020, this went on for years, federal agents arrested her at her rural estate in New Hampshire. The arrest involved FBI agents and federal prosecutors. She was charged with conspiracy to entice minors to travel to engage in illicit sex acts, sex trafficking of minors, and perjury-related charges for allegedly lying under oath in civil depositions. The indictment focused on conduct between approximately 1994 and 2004.
Do you reckon she was coerced? Because, like, we've read about Epstein being very controlling and manipulative.
It's a possibility.
Was she made to do all this stuff for him?
Well, yeah,
I'm not
sure
saying
there
she's
was
good.
some element of coercive control involved, but she obviously had pretty shit morals, and
I'm not
there's no
condoning her
evidence
behaviour.
of her attempting to stop.
But, like, could she get out if she wanted to?
Not sure. Unlikely if,
I'm not condoning her behaviour. I'm just, like, thinking out loud.
She's a daughter of a billionaire, so how in touch with reality could she be?
Probably not very.
And how much could she care about the small person,
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah. All right. So she was held in custody like Epstein until her trial, but she survived. In 2021, she was tried with the federal court in New York, during which several survivors testified as prosecution witnesses, including Virginia Guff, who we mentioned earlier, as well as Annie Farmer and other under aliases. After weeks of testimony, the jury convicted her on multiple counts related to sex trafficking. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Any thoughts on that?
I think when you've been in an abusive relationship and stuff, you just see things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can clock where people have been victimised and manipulated.
I'm not saying she has. I'm just like
wondering.
Yeah, wondering. I'm pondering it. I'm pondering.
Oh, absolutely.
But I also don't endorse hurting other people ever.
There's a lot of women who enable serial killers and work alongside them.
Yeah.
They've obviously got a screw loose as well.
Yeah.
You know what
obviously
I mean?
You're not right, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. She was in love with him as well.
Yeah.
Like, love can do strange things. Mm-hmm. I fully believe he made her feel like he was in love with her too.
I'm just thinking like he has all the money, she had nothing.
Yes.
And she's used to that lifestyle.
And she had the connections and he used
she had
her.
the connection. Yeah. I'm just like,
He used her, for sure.
Yeah.
But did she use him as well? What would she be doing if she was kicked out on her ass?
Yeah,
she didn't have any inheritance.
She didn't have anything.
Her dad squandered it all, It's interesting.
You don't hurt people, guys.
Yeah, just don't do it.
Yeah. And don't enable abusive men.
Don't be selfish.
Just say goodbye.
Yeah. I mean, safely.
Safely?
Be secret
about
it.
Just leave in the middle of the night. Or when
they're at
not
work,
home.
that's what I
When
do.
they're not home. Leave.
Exactly, that's what I did. That's
just-
when he was at work.
Yeah.
Packed everything up, my son and my cat, some clothes, and fucked off.
Yeah.
To a safe place, which was my family's. Anyway, get people involved.
Yeah.
Get people to
The more
protect
people
you.
know.
Yes.
Don't keep it secret.
Even now, the Epstein story isn't finished. Courts continue to release documents from the civil cases tied to the investigations. Each new batch of files reveals more about how Epstein operated, who surrounded him, and how allegations against him were handled. For the survivors who came forward, these documents represent something important, a permanent record of what they say happened. Because in cases involving powerful people and hidden systems of abuse, documentation can become the closest thing to accountability. And the Epstein files are one of the largest collections of documents ever made it public. So yeah, that's it for the episode. If I got your brain ticking or raised more questions than answers, hit us up at our email at nurseratchetpodcast@gmail.com. We want to hear your thoughts, theories, or even just your take on the story. Make sure you like, share, and rate the podcast to help other curious minds find it. Follow our Insta at Nurse Ratchet Podcast and subscribe so you don't miss any early episodes. Big shout out to our current subscribers, Callie, Laura, and Jess. Your support helps the stories coming in, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. Next, we're going to go into people listed on the Epstein files and the controversies around that.
Sorry, I was just like, are you going to get into the beef jerky?
Yes. Don't know what that is, but yes.
Yeah.
I will add that on. Where can everyone find you, Rebecca, if you want to be found?
So, I've got a YouTube channel called Tome Reader, Tome.
Yeah.
Reader.
What's that about?
So, I write novels.
Slay.
Yeah. So, what I'm going to be doing is like releasing a chapter, like probably once a month.
Oh, yeah, nice.
But I'll be reading it and doing whatever I do.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many novels have you got?
Like 3.
3.
But I thought I'd just release it.
And what's the genre?
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
A bit sexy.
Is it sexual fantasy as well?
Some are sexual fantasy.
Oh, get around
Some are
it.
like outer space.
Yep.
You know.
Oh, sci-fi sexual fantasy.
Yeah.
Ooh. Are there fairies?
No, I'd say,
fairy
you
book
know,
pending.
yeah, no. Haven't got the wings yet.
Amazing.
The wingspan.
So what's your at? Tome reader.
Tome reader.
Yep. Do you have an
At
Instagram
Gmail.
or?
No, not yet. I'm just getting into it because
Just YouTube. Yep.
just YouTube for now.
So we're just starting out.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right. Well, check that out, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. We're going to do a part 2 of Epstein because this is not over. Okay.
We need to talk about the jerky.
We're going to, Rebecca's going to talk about the jerky.
It's not good. Just letting you know.
Stay tuned. Bye.
Bye.